I'm standing at the left-hand elevation. You can see here we have a little bit of erosion at the foundation, and as we go along, we can see there's a couple of points where there's erosion. The soil levels need to be rebuilt. I want to keep the soil no more than 8 inches below the brick course. So here's the top of the foundation here. You want about 8 inches at maximum. So the foundation grade wall has plenty of support. There's a little bit of erosion here, and it needs to be rebuilt, and a little bit of erosion around the rear elevation. The gutters around the house are discharging close to the foundation. They should have extension pipes added to them to carry the runoff from the roofs away from the foundation itself. I have concerns about the setback of the building from the steep drop off to the creek below. The creek is some 60 foot below us, and we've measured the distance, and I have some concerns here. I am 33 feet from the building itself, and we have a slope down to here of 66, 67 inches. And then we have a steep drop off to a creek below. The creek is some 40 feet below us, and there is no visible retaining walls in the creek area at all. There's signs of considerable erosion in past days and months or years, and from what I can see here, erosion is continuing to this day. Down here we have some trees that have been undermined. You can see the subterranean root system is now exposed, and there's some exposed roots from the tree system. This large tree here, exposed. This area looks as if it's being eroded during flood conditions. The water will come around here, and as it comes round, if it builds up, it's going to have a backward effect here. It's going to run up into this area and start to wash the banking away. It's in my opinion that this area should have a retaining wall to protect the bank from erosion, and thus protect the house above from future slippage on this slope. I'm standing at the rear elevation of the building. What I'm looking at here is the creek bed below. It's some 40 feet below us. There's a steep drop off, and there's obvious signs of erosion. Trees have been swept away and washed away. Here you can see erosion is continuing. We have exposed roots from this large tree here. It's only a matter of time that this tree will actually fall down into the creek, and we'll lose another 10 or 20 foot from the cliff edge distance to the house itself. Looking down here, you can see a large tree has been eroded. It's down the bottom here, and you can see the creek itself is very wide and there's water running currently. This creek, I can get details online from the local city about the flood levels on this creek, but I would guess the creek level is going to come up at least 10 foot under real severe flood conditions, if not more. So I have real concerns about the stability of this bank adjoining the house above the creek. In this image here, which comes from Google Earth, you can see that I've actually laid out where I believe the runoff is coming to affect the bank around here. When you stand in this area here, down at the bottom of the path that goes round the backyard of the house, you can clearly see there's a slope that comes down in this direction, and there's another slope coming down in this direction, and they start and meet here, and so there's a considerable amount of runoff, and the results of that runoff can easily be seen if we go to the next image. Just sort this out. In this image here, you can see up the back here we have the house. Here is the flow from the runoff from the swales of the yards down into the embankment here, and there's another slope coming down here. You can't see it sloping very well here in the picture, but when you stand there you can see that there's a large water stain and debris here where water has remained after a storm and not gone down. But what is actually happening is it's flowing down and creating a gully. Let's have a look at the picture, the next picture. This is the path that you can stand on. This is where the water runs over. And here, it's undermining the path. In other words, that path is going to be washed away in coming years, or even months, depending on the amount of rain that we get and the effect of the water runoff on that path there. And then looking down the gully, this picture's pretty difficult, pretty difficult to interpret. Let me try to explain to you. At the top is effectively the creek bed. You can't see it very well here, but it effectively is the creek bed. This erosion at the bottom is actually just below the path, and there's considerable erosion there. It actually looks as if a previous path has been washed away, because there's some concrete slabs down there, and that the path itself has been rebuilt, but nothing has been done to prevent the further erosion, and the erosion's very, very bad. There's exposed tree roots. This is right at the top here. Exposed tree roots at the top. It's a big tree. It's a very big tree, and that's going to be washed away soon. And the trees in that area are also part of the structure that holds that whole area and the gully together. So my conclusion is that left unattended, there's going to be a catastrophic failure of the bank in this area, which could lead to issues and problems with the foundation of the house.